I speak the plain Mamelucian, which comes from the heart. And that's how I live through, and that's what I know, and that's what I say.
Yeah. And you still have a positive attitude to everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I always was positive. You know, when I left home, I had no doubt. I said after a year or two, I'll be back. You know, that was the whole my reckoning, because I said this one last. Because after a year or two, we got to be back. Well, it didn't work out. After 6 or 7 years, I come back. Unfortunately, I come back to nothing.
That's right.
But
and since
I always maintained my identity. Although I was young, I always mixed with Jewish people. To be a Jewish person was very dear to me, because I know what people gone through. And I never tried to assimilate. And with this, I don't think I could be a better person because I assimilate myself. Or, you know, I speak Polish or to boast about it. I live my life as a Yid, and I want to be identified as a Yid. And then that's how I was 60 years ago. That's how I am now, and that's how I will be always.
Since you, after the war, is this the first time you've come back?
This is the first time.
Wow.
I came here from Russia in 1946, and we didn't have a place where to go. So I remember the first thing, we stopped at Przemyśl, and the station master got out of the station and said in Polish, "What did you bring me this stinking juice here?" And we went from station to station. We went then to Lodz, then we went to Katowice, then we went to Ząbkowice, and then they let us there. And we stayed there for about 4 weeks, and then was the Kielce pogrom. And we got leaflets in our street, Jews clear out. We do the same thing to you what we did in Kielce. Well, can you believe it? So how can I? No, in Ząbkowice. So talking about niceties, clear out. So what we did, we had to go, and we had a little boy, he was only 2 years old, and they didn't want to take, because little children could spill the beans on the water.
Yes.
We had to give him away in the kindergarten, and then we had to meet him in Austria on the American zone. It was a whole geschäft, you know, it was very complicated. But we did it. Why? Because we wanted to survive. Live through the war and come here to get, like the people in Kielce. All got killed. For what? And one person was charged and hanged. One person, and the whole city was taking part in killing. They come with machetes, with axe, with everything, and they kill these poor people who lived through the concentration camp and they come here from Russia. 42 people. So how can you have a heart? And how can anybody talk about somebody was, you know, going to school and he was well off? And I know how everybody was well off. I know the legacy. I know what is left. 6 million got killed.
So how did you feel coming back here after so many years? You haven't been. How did you feel?
I felt no anger, because things are gone. After so many years, things heal. But Roger, he wanted to know my roots, you know. And he said, "Look, Dad, I want you to come with me. I want to see it." So that's what I came. That's what.
Yeah.
See, my wife, when she was alive, wanted to come, but she had, all of a sudden, she got sick and she died. And so then I forget, I said, I'm not going to go. For myself, I'm not going to go. And now, when Roger said he wants to go, so...
It must bring back a lot of memories, both good memories and also sad memories, to come back here.
Oh, it is, definitely, it is. As you say, good memories always. It doesn't matter what the conditions are, you always have good memories of something. But you also have bad memories, and you have to learn to live with it. Providing you don't drop your bundle, you always think tomorrow will be a better day. You're right, that's why probably I'm survived till 80. Otherwise I would have been a long time dead probably.
But a lot of the survivors are very bitter. They're very bitter, and if they came here, they wouldn't see it in your eyes.
Yeah, well, it's no good to be bitter, because what can you do? You can't help that.
You can't change the past, can you?
I never held bitterness. That's the worst thing you can do, is to hold bitterness against somebody. Because look, you can't change the world. The world will be what it is. And if that person doesn't understand bigotry, you can't tolerate and you can't teach. The person is like that. Doesn't matter. You always find the opposite thing. And that's it. Yeah.
My husband's grandfather founded a furniture factory. I would imagine that he founded the factory around about the 1880s. It was a very well-known furniture factory in Krakow. This went on until the 1920s, 1930s. And then when the war broke, when the Germans came, it was taken over by the state, by the Germans and then by the Polish state. I think it was actually used as a furniture factory until the 1980s or 1990s, but since then it has not been a furniture factory, and it's been taken over by the, according to what I hear, it's been taken over by the Social Security. Well, I'm hoping to see the whole thing because I've always heard of it, I've never seen it. So it's an experience to see it. And it gives you a feeling of sort of being a link, as they say, a link in the chain.
I've been trying to find my own roots, and then a lot of people helped me from all over the world, so I decided that it would be appropriate also to help others. So first on the internet I started to help people making translations. Many people think that there is nothing left, and as a matter of fact the archives are full of documents, and these documents show the life of the real people, because these are not only birth, marriage, death certificates. There is plenty of documents telling about how they lived, what they did, what organizations they belonged to, and you know, you can build an initial tree, family tree, but you have to fill it in with some contents.
Right. My grandfather was a member of this shul, and his name is on the matseva. There's a board there with his name. Where are we?
Yes, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. This one, yeah.
Zev Tzvi Wolf Goldstein, Halbreich Ben Raphael, Kuf Tevet, Heresh Tzadik Vav. Why was it Halbreich? Because the government didn't recognise the Jewish weddings, so they took the name of the mother and they took the name of the father. So the Halbreich must have been the mother's name. In fact, it was Halbreich, and the Goldstein was the father's name.
First ever.
In your life?
Yeah, in my life, the first time after 65 years.
65 years?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 17.
17.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is your heart beating?
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
17 years.
They're making renovation. Here I lived.
Which
Yeah.
floor? Which floor?
In bottom floor here.
It'll probably be 1.
I think somebody there.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you speak in Polish?
Hello? Dzień dobry pani. Moje nazwisko jest Bilczewski. Ja mieszkałem tutaj 65 lat temu nazad. A ja mogę iść, ja chcę zobaczyć mój pokój. Na parterze. Na parterze. Dzień dobry pani. You speak English?
Yeah, sure.
So oni, they're not here.
I'm not sure because people are changing here. They are buying new flats, so I have no idea if they are at home.
Was this your house?
Yeah. 65 lat temu nazad.
Well, we meet only when I'm
coming to Warsaw, or
if I'm
Magda
coming to
Krakow. No, so it is not everyday friendship, but we
and that's probably its friendship.
Yeah, but we also in telephone contact. When we meeting, we are talking and talking through hours.
And I'm married, but I'm a widow, and I have 2 sons in Canada, and very nice daughter-in-laws, and I'm going to be a great grandmother in October.
Mazel tov. In our first contact, Magda told me her story about all the words. Well, I was listening about all the day. And after this, we discussed her book, because I read in manuscript already. And then we discussed everything, television news, whatever.
I think we both are interested in politics.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about that. And I am very, I really, truthfully, am terribly honored if I meet a Jewish person, because there are so few of them. And when the last ambassador of Israel was in Poland, they asked me, the Jewish Polish organization also, to ask him a few questions. And now Mr. Shepard, professor, he came to that little restaurant, was walking around, and the lady that was running the place said that Magda Grodzka, that's me, would like to ask you a few questions. I was prepared. I prepared the questions. But when he told us how he was saved, I had no questions. I just told him that I'm delighted, deep to my heart, because he showed me, I never seen flowers. And I said, now you can look at flowers, I have no questions. I'm just glad you're here. And this is how I feel about Zosia and about you.
Sometimes I have to explain that there are Jews in Poland, that there is life for Jews in Poland. It is nothing bad in living in Poland. But I like to meet them, really. Anti-Semitism is everywhere, especially now in the West Europe. And in the West Europe now, because of Islam, I believe anti-Semitic is much more than in Poland. In Poland, we still didn't have the Muslim problems. In Poland, it exists, but it's not big, but noisy sometimes. But I think it is a margin. We tried to do something about it, like to meet school children and just tell them what it is, what are Jews, because they don't know even, So we are telling them about our common history, 800 years of common history in Poland. And we believe that all the evil comes from ignorance. So we try to help to educate.
Really, truthfully, I think that real patriots, Polish patriots, are Jews.
Somewhere here. And do you have the record? It would be, because it was 15 and then section 15.
Row 7-6, grade 5.
Okay. So we should count it from.
So this is
probably from this tree.
So this
but
is section
more
15.
or less, this is section 15. Row 7-6. Wait. Rows are here. Are
Right.
like this, and grave is like this.
Okay, so it's the 5th grave. It's the 5th grave along here.
Okay. And then we have to go deeper,
Okay.
like 6, 7. But we'll have to read all the names around because.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just try. Well, we've got to be in more or less the right row.
Mm-hmm.
So So what have we got? We've got one. So this is first, second.
Yep.
Oh, look, it's completely knocked down.
But you see that's the rock broken.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a peg. It's a peg.
Okay.
So it's not that. No, it's not that. What's here? Oh, it's just an impossible. It's just impossible.
Try to read every stone because it's when you're here.
What's the name we're looking for? I can have a look as well.
We're looking for Goldstein, and it's
Goldstein.
Wolf Hirsch, which is a Zev Tzvi.
So maybe there will be a hirsch on the
A deer.
a deer on the.
Yeah, but you can't see sort of on the. No. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. No. There's nothing here with oh no, there is with English.
Yeah.
No, can't read that. Can't read that. What's this?
I've been also trying to find.
Yeah. No, that's Tufnan Tzadik Reish. That's she lies here in eternal peace. But, no. That's it.
She was Sabina with the.
Yeah. And have a look there. It's very hard to read. So it's 8411. So it's catalogued. Sabina Kempler. Sobel Kempler. But Reb Shalom Shammai. That's it. That's actually it. I can't believe that I'm here. I think I'll light a candle.
That is from.
Been looking for this for a number of years, and to find it is really a bit of a closure for me. Well, just to be able to find one headstone, one out of the 3 grandparents that Gershon was able to find for me has made this trip worthwhile. Somebody came to visit her after all these years. Okay.
We lost 6.5 million people. We don't say we lost 3.5 million Christians, 3 million Jewish Poles. We lost 6.5 million people. Yeah. This is the way we see it. Sure. For you it was for you it was different because you were like at some point of the war it became like the nation to be extinct, right? Yeah. For us it was war. We were to be extinct later on, but in the very beginning it was you. You lost what 90% of the population. We lost much less in percentage. We lost 6 million people, so out of 30, so we lost 20%, right, of total population. So it was a little bit different for us, but it was always in our history books and so on. We were taught and so on, always a little bit different. That it wasn't war against Jews, it was World War II, was Nazi and so on.
Nazis against the Poles.
Exactly, Nazis against the Poles. Later on, when you get deeper into it, you find that most of the staff in Auschwitz were Austrians, from Austria. Most of the staff in Treblinka was from Ukraine. Most of SS staff in Poland was from, I think, is from Latvia. So those are the things. Yeah. Polish troops were fighting all over, right? They were in Soviet Union, and then they escaped from Soviet Union, and they were fighting in Italy, they were fighting in England, they were fighting in Arnhem. Whole Polish army, and I'm not army, but whatever, was killed in Arnhem. In that famous market garden operation, when one of those US generals pushed.
In Monte Cassino.
And Monte Cassino, many thousands of Poles were killed trying to get into the monastery.
Yeah, they sent the Americans up and they didn't succeed. They sent the English up, they didn't succeed. Then they sent the Poles up.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
And they succeeded.
And they succeeded.
But they lost
thousands. Thousands of people were.
They succeeded.
And this national song that our blood is like poppies at the hills on the slopes of Monte Cassino Hill. Yeah.
Not many Germans survived because they killed. The Germans were frightened of what they called the Polacks. Yeah. They were frightened. I remember hearing them shout, "The Polacks are coming!" They were running.
Since I left this place, in my life, I had many disappointments, many wonderful things happened to me. As you can see, to leave a home at my age and leave the older brothers here, and sister and mother, and to have this feeling to make the decision that this is the right thing for me to do, to leave. Now, of course, that's why I'm alive. And had they been with me, they would have been alive for sure. Now, we're talking and we're writing regarding this war. You hear debates that we lost 6 million of our brethren. Then Russia lost 20 million. Poland lost also a few million, 3 million. But the difference to lose people the way we lost them, there is no comparison. If Russia lost, which I was in Russia, 20 million, they were defending their pride, their honor, their country. Poland the same. They lost people because they were fighting for their liberty and for their freedom. What did we lose? We lost people because we were Jews and they hated us. And that's why we were killed. Not because we were fighting for grab land or change somebody's feeling. So you see, when we get together and we got discussions, this is the only answer. Why we ask a question? This question will be asked for many generations. Why we are singled out? Because we were respectable citizens. Wherever we went, we contributed to mankind, and this is what we got. To destroy a culture as we had here in Krakow, that is just unbelievable. To destroy a nation, yeshivas, hospitals, schools, that was all Jewish, and all went in ashes. So we as Jews must remind ourselves that not to give in to those who hate us, but we must go along as I did. I left home and I said, I must come back. And I had that feeling that one day, but my reckoning was that I could come back after a year or two. But it took me 7 years to come back. And what did I find? I find everybody dead. Why? Did my mother hurt anybody? I can assure you not. She wouldn't touch a fly. Did my niece, who was 2 years old, hurt anybody? She was killed. Why? Because she was a Jewess. And this is the thing which the world will have to once come to term, that every human being coming to this world must have a place to live in freedom and justice. Can you imagine a 16-year-old boy goes away, leaves a family, goes away in the unknown, and not seeing a Jewish person for years? This is just not normal. When you take today a 16-year-old boy and break him away from a family and send him away, this is just unheard of. I left home, I came to the border, and it was a legal exchange. Jews who wanted, it was mainly Jews, come to the border, they wanted to go to the other side, to the Russian side. And those who wanted to come from the Russian side could go to the German side. Naturally, the Jews want to go to the Russian side, not because they like the Russians, but because there they were safer. So as we arrived to the border that particular night, I took a train here. That was I arrived to Zorovitset in the border guard. I arrived at 11 o'clock at night. And this scene is before my eyes. Thousands, virtually thousands of people, 99% were Jewish. They wanted to cross to the other side. Because we knew that's a legal exchange. Those who wanted to go there, they can go. Those who want to come back, they can. So, waiting till the morning, and the bridge had to be open 8 o'clock, that we can go through. An announcement came, the bridge is closed. No more exchanges. Can you believe it? Those people have packed their packlich, old women, young babies, and they don't know where to go. Anyhow, there were nice people, there were Polish people who had their kayaks, and they shipped some of the older people through the river, because that river sand was quite wide and was quite deep. We were a group of 4 boys and a girl. We didn't have money. We had to pay money to shift us over. So they told us that behind the city, about 3 kilometers, the water is shallow. So we went there and we crossed the border. We came on the other side, the Russians greeted us, and they told us, look, if you want work, you can go to this city, Lvov, and there we need people to work, you can register yourself, and you get a job. We came there, and I find out that I'm only 17, I should have been 18 to get work. I had to falsify my passport, make myself a new passport, and I got the job. I went to the coal mines and I worked in the coal mines. And I used to send parcels to here, to this place, until it was refused because of the ghetto. They were taken to ghetto. And you want me to go on further? Now, so you see, I worked a year in the coal mines, and after a year I was freed because my contract was for a year. And they were very good to me, the Russians. They didn't differentiate whether I was a Jew or I was a Christian, I was a person. That was the accepted thing in Russia in those days. Later on, anti-Semitism started to go, but I wasn't part of it because I was only in 1939, 40, I'm talking about those years. Now, I was taken to the army, and the war broke out. In 1941, I was in the army. I was a conscript, but the Germans came with such a speed that we didn't have time to form ourselves. So we retreated and retreated and retreated, and until we came to Chkalov, and there we formed ourselves. And it was already December, and Stalin gave an order, all those who were born in Poland, or all those who were sons of rich people, they're called kulak, all those have to be taken off from the army and put in a labor camp, and I was amongst them. So I was thrown in that labor camp, and honestly, I don't know how I survived. I was swollen, no food, hunger. I wish I would have been dead. It would be better. But when I got out from hospital, I got pneumonia, and I got out from hospital, the Russians were running short and soldiers. And they decided that those people who were the sons of the rich Kulaks, they're taken back to the army. So I falsified again my name, and I said I'm born in Stalina, which was occupied by the Germans already. And lucky for me, they took me back to the army. I went to the army, and I served in the army. That was 1942. And beginning of May, became an order, we got to go to Stalingrad. We all dressed and everything. And then came straight an order that the army has to be held up because the railway got washed out. And we held up for 24 hours, and this is very important. And as we walked back to the barracks, I told my friend the whole story, without knowing that somebody can pimp on me. I told him that I am from Poland, but I was in Orsk, and I was in a labor camp, and I was... So anyway, he went to the NKVD days, and they arrested me. And they let me off. They questioned me. I won't go, I'll go into the details. They took me to this KGB, they call it today, and they asked me my name. So I said, Ilchevsky. Where you born? I said, in Stalina. I was born in Krakow, I didn't say. So that's all right. Then the others start asking me. And when I said to him, Stalina, he banged the table, you tell us the truth, what you are a spy. I said, look, I'll tell you the truth, I'm from Poland. Yeah, I falsified my name because I couldn't stand anymore in the camp. That's why I falsified my name. Anyway, they questioned me, but they didn't do anything, whether my face or whether my honesty to them, and they didn't do anything. The next day, they called up everybody, 180 soldiers, we lined up, and all of them on a truck, and I was the only one not called up. And I stayed there on tension with all my gear and everything, and the major came up to me and said, look, they didn't want to do anything wrong to you, they want to send you in the coal mines, but I insisted you help train the new conscripts which are coming. So I was relieved. But a couple of weeks later, I got the marching orders, I got to go. With a packet, they arrested me, and the boy who escorted me, I knew him because we were together in the same school, I was a sergeant. So I said to him, open the letter, I want to see what they're going to do to me. He says, you know, they'll shoot me if I do it. So anyway, we came to the place where I have to go, and they opened the letter and they said that I go to the coal mines. So I said, well, that's not bad, I worked there. So we went to the place, and he went home. He says, look, when the chappie will come in, you will deliver him, and just he'll send you where you have to go. He walked in through this door, and I walked in through the other door, and I ran to the station. Without knowing what I do, that was a terrible thing to do. I jumped on the first goods train, I covered myself under on the car, and I didn't know where I'm going. I was going for 4 nights and 3 days, and every time I peeped out and I asked for some food, and I was looking for a Jewish person, can I see? So every time I asked, Amchu. Eventually I come to a place where 3 boys are standing, and I asked them, and they say yes. So they grabbed me, that was in Sverdlovsk. They took me to the place where they worked, they made me a new passport, and I settled there, and I married there. And that was my escape. That's my story I can tell you.
And last year when I was here, I forgot to bring my grandfather's grave. The photo of my grandfather's grave, so that's what I'm trying to find now. But the number on it is very blurred, so we can't work out exactly where it is. The address.
The left side, level. Straight.
Can you see it? Yeah, exactly.
No,
It's my
pan Krzysiu
grandfather.
ma przygotować lupę, żeby sprawdzić.
Kto?
Pan Krzysiu.
Maybe we ask
Tak?
people.
No. Bo mówił, że on miał zobaczyć, jak będziemy wychodzić, to on miał zobaczyć.
Ja zaraz zobaczę.
Nie zgub.
Zgubię na pewno. Albo sprzedam.
Nie!
Widzisz?
To see if we can find the number of my grandfather's grave. I think we found my father's grave. Yehoshua Mordechai Weintraub. Yes. My parents came back here after the war.
After the war.
Look,
The first section is the Jerry.
Yeah.
Next, Vita.
And
like
where
that.
is it?
The third.
Is
the
that
fourth.
where we're going? The
Teddy.
fourth. Okay.
Teddy.
Not good here. Go this way because
Oh, look at it. Oh, look at it.
grave isn't inside. This grave is around all
Where
the
is it?
streets.
Where is it?
Here's this section, but not inside, only around section on the street.
Ale nie widać nic.
I don't know. Yeah.
What?
No. Rosenzweig. Rosenzweig.
No, it does not explain it.
For long?
Well, long enough to create a real raucous.
I know this cemetery. Like my home. Like my home.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much. Dziękuję so much. He's lying all by himself. Some letters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I have to find a stone.
Nothing that you can do. It's very clear.
I clean it.
I just want to put a stone on. I'll put one of my Auschwitz stones. It's all right. I've got from Auschwitz.
You better rush back because it's going to pour.
Thank you.
I told you that I know this cemetery like my home.
Yes. And what to find my grandfather's home? What do I have to do? To go.
Address.
Did you get a shot of it, Robbie?
Address.
Can you get a shot of me with it?
Yeah. Sorry, I go.
Thanks. But we don't know how to get back.
Yeah, we'll go back to it. It's all right.